Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Princess of Wands. This is kind of an impulsive energy. This is someone who is very inspired. I think that you are someone who has really caught this fire of creative will, of inspiration, right? I think that you've had the dawning of a really great idea in your life. And I think you want to see it through. You want to push forward with it. We'll have to see with some other cards if there's any sort of impedance to this, but this is really like getting the inspiration and moving ahead with it without a second thought. Okay? You're somebody with a lot of youthful energy. I don't know the general age of the audience here, but I feel like you have such a vibrant energy in you that at any moment you're ready to sort of begin this new adventure. You know, especially if you get really fired up about something, there's nothing stopping you. I just feel like you dream about it. You can't. You think about it all the time. Like this is something that kind of consumes you, right? It feels like this is the essence of your life right now. Yeah, you're somebody that really you have a very intense personality. I think that when you get attached to an idea, people kind of just watch out, just step back, just let Pisces go, you know, because it's very, very intense. And there's probably been people in your life that couldn't handle your intensity, you know, because of how powerful you are when you're inspired. Yeah. Let's see what's going on with this. Let's put this into some context here. We've got more fire, right? Now the Two of Wands, Six of Swords, very good. Six of Wands, also very good. Eight of Pentacles, I like that. See if we'll get another six here. Three of Cups, Path of the Serpent. We've got a Knight of Cups, Eight of Wands, more fiery energy. The Emperor. And finally, the Queen of Wands. Very nice. I noticed one thing, that there's only one major arcana card, and that's the Emperor. Let's put this pack away. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, and it's the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set it down over here. We're going to put Kevin, aka Mr. Bates, right there on top. This is the final reading for Kevin, aka Mr. Bates, until his next turn. So Pisces, you're ending this energetic cycle, and therefore Kevin gets to take a little break from his very important duties. All right. If you have a prediction for the card, drop it down in the comments. It's a good idea to exercise your intuition every chance you get. Right, and we do this every day, 4 times a day. So let's try that. All right, let's make it interactive. Let's make it a group exercise. Let's see what we can come up with here. Okay, but first, let's look around the room here. We've got our major arcana. This is in the position of the obstacle. Now, at first, I kind of feel like the Emperor is your obstacle because you don't want anybody telling you what to do. Right. But the fact that we've got some of these other court cards here and the Three of Cups, and I kind of feel like the Emperor here is sort of what you need to embrace in yourself in order to to make this successful, right? And we kind of see the transition into this fiery. See, we go from the Princess of Wands. It becomes a Queen of Wands, right? It's not gender specific, but it's a maturing of that fiery energy. I think that this is you accepting leadership, that this is a brilliant idea that you have, okay? And I feel like this is destined to succeed if you become the emperor. If you, I think you're kind of a reluctant leader. I don't think you want to be a leader. I don't think you want to tell other people what to do. I think you'll learn to like it, you know? I feel like you kind of even would rather do this on your own solo, right? We see the Two of Wands here also in the front, because it's kind of like you understanding that, hey, this is your baby. You've got to organize it. You've got to give people their duties and their tasks, and you got to be the leader, right? You've got to have the control. And the emperor is the perfect kind of embodiment of control, right? The emperor kind of knows what's best for the whole realm, is able to make the difficult decisions, is able to delegate duties and tasks and assign roles to different people. Really, the essence of a good leader here, of course, has to take other things into account. We don't want to be a tyrant, right? We want to be a leader that is magnanimous, patient, connected with the divine, is open to other opinions, is not too hot-headed or reactionary, right? And we see all of those cards here that go into creating the very best emperor that we can be, right? And I think that's probably why this card is in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns, or the card that we don't want. You don't want to be a bad emperor, so you'd rather just not be the emperor at all. But we're seeing through these other cards how to be a very good emperor, right? All of this, I think, is kind of the inner workings of the emperor card here, okay? And the first thing we have, of course, is the inspiration, the will to do it. Someone who wants to succeed, has some sort of project, or has the kind of the responsibility, has the will to accomplish something, right? Whatever this might be for you. That's kind of the phase one of the emperor has to be, there has to be this fiery kind of inspiration towards some future goal, right? And then, of course, the Two of Wands. This is the ability to know what is within your sphere of control and what is not. It's kind of knowing who you can kind of tell what to do and who not your job, not your responsibility, right? It's knowing what you have an influence over and what you don't. In life, there are two, right? There is what you can control and what you cannot. And the emperor has to know the difference, right? You have to be in full command of that which is within your domain, and you have to sort of adapt to everything else. We can't force the world to be a different way. We can't force other people to be a certain way. If it's not the person we need, we got to swap it out and get the right person in. But we cannot control the external circumstances of life. We cannot control the universe. We can control ourselves, we can control our interaction, we can control our behaviors to a limited degree, right? We can control the environment that's sort of immediately surrounding us. We do have choices, we do have an influence on the world, not an absolute influence. And so a good emperor is going to know that it's a little push and it's a little pull, it's a little back and forth, it's a little striving, it's a little yielding. It's a little bit of me controlling everything and probably a lot of me just kind of taking things as they come. And this is the first step, really, well, maybe the second step of being a very good emperor, okay? So I think that you're sort of, you have this inspiration, you have this kind of greatest idea of your life, and this is how we're going to proceed to manifest it, okay? Underneath the surface, you got that Six of Swords. That's organization. Another thing an emperor has to do is be organized. The emperor has to have sort of the plan, the structure, they have to have their platform, their agenda, right? I'm not trying to make this a political reading at all. I feel like in your life, if this is you building a business, if this is you starting some kind of a company or starting a cottage business, starting a YouTube, an Etsy, whatever, a corner store, right? Whatever it is that you're doing. If this is a new project at work, if this is kind of a new creative project, you've got to have the plan. You've got to kind of sort of know not only what you're trying to do. You got to have the inspiration, the idea that says, okay, I want to create that thing, whatever. You got to know sort of how to get there. So this is kind of like the map. This is kind of the blueprint of what you're creating. And you're very organized. Okay. This is also about you understanding that you've got to have the right people in the right positions. You've got to try to network, and maybe it's not so much about your employees, but about the resources, your vendors, the website company, your relationship with YouTube, or how you're connecting with your audience, or whatever it is. There's a plan, right? And everything kind of fits together in this plan. Now, the plan never quite goes according to our vision, but we've got to have this nevertheless, okay? This card's also about communication, and it really is the only air energy we have. We've got our major. We got fire, 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 a lot of fire. So it really is about this leadership, this inspiration, this ambition, this destiny to succeed, right? And we've got a little bit of water, a little bit of air, a little bit of earth, okay? Not a lot of these things at all. But I think the water is very important here because it's kind of your compassion, your love, your sense of togetherness, your sense of community. It's about communicating effectively what your needs are. So we have these two cards, right? And really these three cards, all three of these cards are Mercury, Mercury, Mercury energies. Okay, fire, water, and air. Kind of governed by the planet Mercury here, which is all about the way we're communicating and organizing and structuring things. This is structuring the plan, having the blueprint, having the GPS sort of coordinates, right? This is about you communicating your needs to your people. And that's the way forward right now for you, I think, is especially moving into the general energy, is communicating your needs to other people around you, whether it's communicating to family or to friends or to other things, people, entities that you're networking with, whether they're directly involved in this or not. It's kind of like you want to start this business, this, let's say an Etsy thing or whatever. You've got to kind of tell your family what you need from them. How can other people support you, right? It doesn't mean that they're your employees or something, but how can they sort of help you to create this? You know, what do you need from them? You know, make you a sandwich? Like, what can I do? You know, we've got to be able to communicate that. And I think that's kind of the nature of the water energy. But the 6 is very good. And we have the 6 of Wands back there too. The 6 of Wands is a card of victory, right? It's a card, I think, of a lot of little wins that really build up some confidence. Now, I think that you have been sort of building up to this really, really big idea. Maybe you've been kind of starting small. Maybe this is the idea of kind of learning little bits and pieces of things that are now finally coming together with the 6 of Swords into this grand scheme. You know, I think that you've been building up to this maybe your whole life, right? I think you've always been pretty good at like making ends meet. You've been pretty good at having an idea and manifesting it, you know, kind of executing it, kind of translating it into reality, okay? But this is the big one. This is the big life-changing thing. This feels like it's really destined to succeed. And I think that maybe the 6 of Wands in this past position is you, in some ways, like testing the waters. You know, it's just kind of like maybe like a little soft opening or like little samples and stuff. And it's like, okay, everything seems to be really, really positive. Maybe we should do it big time, do it for real, you know, do it on a larger scale, perhaps. Right? Kind of getting that feeling there. the Eight of Pentacles is a very good card for an Emperor too. Because this is a card of patience. This is the card of realizing that in order for something to really grow and really succeed in a way that is lasting, in a way that's going to be there even after the Emperor's gone and the next Emperor sort of takes over, we've got to build things up in a very slow and steady way. Just the right amount of sunlight, just the right amount of water, the right kind of soil, the right kind of love, you know. And this will be one of those like redwood trees out in California that are hundreds of years old, thousands of years old, maybe, I don't know, very old. And I feel like there is a connection with California for you. The really tall redwood trees, I'm kind of getting that vision for you. I don't know if it's the Pacific Northwest or specifically California, maybe a little bit further south, obviously. But somewhere over there, I think is very important. Yeah. But this is the patience, and this is us knowing that we have to be very careful, and we want the progress to be slow and steady, rather than very quick and haphazard, which we do see with the Eight of Wands in the position of the environment. So I feel like this is going to be, if there is sort of the challenge for you, it's kind of like you want things to go kind of slow and steady so that they can last forever, right? But in the environment, it feels like things are going so fast that it feels kind of hectic. It feels like you're juggling, right? Or you're spinning like 1,000 plates at once. And what we really want is the kind of slow, gradual thing. But I feel like you're not quite getting what you want. This is the fast pace of things. I think things are happening very quickly. I think things are growing very quickly. And if you know anything about business, if a business or a company grows too fast, sometimes that's not a good thing because it can't always keep up with the growth, right? Can't accommodate the growth. And I think that's kind of what we're worried about here, that things are going to really just kind of take off so fast. And it's going to be a struggle to sort of keep up with that. Well, that's where I think our Three of Cups comes into it. And we've got to be able to ask for the help we need. Okay? We've got to be able to communicate our feelings, our desires, our needs, okay, from the people that are very close to you. All right? Now, Spirit showed me a lot of unopened packages. I don't know if that is material for what you're doing or if that's something unrelated, but there's like a lot of boxes. I don't know if they're like Amazon boxes or something, but they're unopened somewhere. Like you haven't opened up the packages yet. I feel like you're sort of falling behind. Yeah. We should talk about the path of the serpent now, because I think this is where things really, really progress. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. And it really supports the channel. I really do appreciate that. All right. Let's talk about this Knight of Cups. This is the giving and receiving of love and affection. I feel like this is something for you that's starting out not even as a business. Because the interesting thing here is that we don't really see a lot of Earth cards, right? We've got the Earth cards here. It's kind of just, I'm okay with slow. I'm okay with pay. I'm not in a hurry here. I wonder if this is something that you're doing more out of love than out of, financial, for financial gain. Okay. I even feel with this card that you're a healer. I feel like you're a natural healer. Okay. And maybe this is sort of the idea of this becoming something more, like maybe I turn it into a business, something like that. Because I feel like you're naturally someone that knows how to manipulate energy, knows how to move energy around and heal people. It could be kind of an acupuncture thing, could be crystal healing, could be Reiki, any of these sort of things. It could be massage therapy, it could be literally like a medic or a doctor or a nurse or something, yeah. But I don't feel it's a physical science necessarily like that. I don't feel like it's a doctor or a nurse. I feel like it's something a little bit more energetic based, So it feels almost massage, maybe massage therapy, but more I feel like Reiki. Yeah, Something along those lines anyway. But even if that's not the case, I feel that this big endeavor for you started out as just something that you do, sort of giving things away. It's just sort of you enjoy doing it. It's just you're giving your gift. You're sharing your gift with the world. Maybe there's this prospect now of turning it into something larger. Okay? Because I feel with the Eight of Wands, things are just kind of blowing up. Like this is taken off, right? And we're worried maybe that it's going to be a flash in the pan, that all this growth is going to happen very, very quickly, and then it's going to sort of fizzle out. Okay? And that's why we need this slow, steady growth. We got to focus on the kind of what we need to do, the very basics we need to do so that this can grow very strong. We got to think about the roots. We got to think about the plan. And we have to be able to communicate sort of what we need, ask for what we need so that this can grow very, very strong. Okay? The Eight of Wands is sometimes things happen so fast that we lose a sense of direction, that we feel kind of scattered. We don't really know what decisions to make, and we're spending a lot of energy kind of spinning in circles here. Taking a couple steps one direction, then saying, no, 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 maybe not. A couple steps the next direction, no, 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 maybe not. So we're wasting a lot of fuel here, but we're not really making any progress. And that's a kind of a risk that we take, especially when something really starts to happen very, very fast. It becomes sort of a whirlwind. Okay? Becomes sort of a whirlwind. And what we need really is this very sound, very competent, very capable emperor. Okay? And I think this is the difficulty for you. The difficulty really being taking something that feels like this inspiration or this gift that you have and turning it into something like serious, something professional, something business, you know. It could be that this is kind of someone we need to hire, someone we need to bring in to help us with it, right? This is the card we don't want. We don't want to turn something that is sort of subtle and spiritual and spontaneous and something that's kind of non-material. We don't want to turn it into something material. You know? We don't want to take our art and turn it into something that's business. Something creative that suddenly now becomes something kind of logical and structured and, you know. I think that's kind of the difficulty too, because we see that even with the sixes, with the fire and the air. It's kind of a, well, if you look at it this way, it's kind of left brain, right brain, right? That this is maybe something that is very, very creative, yeah. But now it has to have some sort of a structure to it. You can't impose logic on art, right? Kind of, but that in essence is what the emperor is trying to do, trying to make some sort of order, some sort of structure out of this sort of the irrational chaos of creative energy. And the final card, of course, is the Queen of Wands. And this, I think, is really you in practice as the, as the Emperor energy, as the leader. Yeah, this is you kind of doing it. You know, there's a connection with the water energy here. It's a Queen of Wands, right? It's water and fire. So this is a connection with the sort of creative source of all of this. There's still that love. There's still that kind of the sense of destiny, the sense of purpose in it, even with the kind of fiery exterior. You know, even with this kind of serious leadership energy. And I feel that the water energy is very important, and that's why I think we've got the Queen of Wands over here. One, it's a maturing of the princess. It's kind of a leveling up of energy in a way. It's a growth of this thing, right? That it's expanding, and I think very quickly it's expanding. The water energy is very important because you have to stay true to this sort of purpose, right? To the meaning and the depth and the profundity of what you're doing. As much as it's kind of becoming a sort of a logical, kind of rational, structured, organized thing, we don't want to lose the connection with that kind of spiritual quality, right? the deep essence and meaning of what you're doing. And I think that's why the water's in this queen here, because you're holding on to that, and you're not losing that connection with source, right? Because that's what it's all about. And I think if you lose the connection with the sort of creative side of it, or the compassionate, maybe interpersonal side of it, then I think you're losing the strength of this very strong tree, right? We're doing something to the roots there. If we're not watering them, the roots are not going to take hold, and this isn't going to last. Okay, so I think you've got all the great components for that Emperor energy. But let's do an oracle. Let's do an empowerment oracle card. I feel like you need a little bit of encouragement to step into your sort of Emperor leadership energy. Yeah. We have here the sacred journey. I am a brave explorer on a sacred journey. I do not let the expectations of others decide my future. I boldly explore my world to discover destiny. I look to the constellations of my heart to steer me. Maybe that's indicating this is going to be the star card. Yeah, could be. But I feel like this is your destiny. And I feel that we do need that bravery, that courage, right? That bold kind of Emperor energy to follow through with this, because I feel like this is what you're meant to do. And I feel that you feel that. You know that this is your destiny. And I think this is how we really proceed from here. Let's look at the mystery card. Is this going to be the star card? I guess that's my guess, right? Because we have the sacred journey, following the constellation of your heart, right, to guide you. I would like to see the star card here, or a card of success, whatever that might be, a 9 or a 10 of pentacles, let's say. With a wheel of fortune, maybe. Let's see what we have. 3 of wands. Very good, because the 3 of wands is really about the identity. It's about kind of knowing, and we see someone here that's kind of standing, like overlooking the harbor. The ships are going out. We think this is somebody who is kind of in charge of something, and it's happening, you know. I think this is something that you believe in very strongly. The 3 of wands is kind of the inner workings of the ace of wands. Yeah. And the wand, the ace of wands, is really what the emperor must hold in order to command the forces of nature, in order to be in charge and make decisions and manifest the will. The emperor needs to have a wand, right? And I think this is you realizing that wand. This is sort of your will saying yes, your heart and mind saying yes. You know, it's something with which you strongly identify. You feel that this is an expression of who you are. This is exactly what you're meant to be doing. And there are difficulties and challenges, and we've kind of got to step up a little bit, right? But this is destined to succeed. You've just got to, make it happen, right? This is very good. This is the absolute, every fiber of your being is saying, yes, do it. Follow this path. Follow this sacred journey that you're on. I like it very much. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There is one down below. New readings for Pisces, Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because it is totally free and because it helps out the channel. Leave a comment and let me know how you're doing. Let me know a little bit about this if you want to share. If you have anything to promote, leave it down in the comments, okay? I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.